What up, guys? Your boy Just King Zere. Welcome back to the Just King Zere podcast. And yeah, man, on this video, I'm going to be talking about how South Africa is being run by criminals. How South Africa is being run by criminals. It's crazy that South Africa can be run by criminals or reach this type of state that we are in currently. But before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that the channel can grow, so that we can have more subscribers. And we're about to we're about to get to the 1K mark. So let's get to it. A lot of you have watched, but don't subscribe. So if you like this content, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on my content. So let's get straight into it. It's crazy that South Africa can be run by criminals. It's crazy that criminals can, have a say or be able to worm themselves into South African government and to worm their way into positions of power, positions of being public servants, positions of great positions that should be awarded to only talented people. People who can bring something, who can actually change something and be very, very efficient and bring change into South Africa. Not even just change, but momentum, carry on the momentum. But we've seen the low quality of leaders that have been leading South Africa. I think the last good leader that we had was Thabo Mbeki, even though he had his own issues towards the end, but he was very much capable. He was very much capable of leading. He was actually phenomenal. He was actually great. He understood the economics. He understood the geopolitics. He understood how the branding and of the country to make the country to be a force and to actually take advantage of the brand South Africa and its whole entire history, and was able to utilize his qualifications and his education. I believe he studied at Oxford. He was able to not just be someone who was just educated, but he was someone who could implement his education. He was able to do that. And but after Thabo Mbeki, we never had a good leader. We've had Jacob Zuma, who was a very, very corrupt, extremely inefficient. Yeah, he inherited a great economy. That's about it. But yeah, and then we had got Ramaphosa after that, was even worse. A lot of us thought that Ramaphosa would be good, but we didn't take into account that Ramaphosa is actually, everything he has been given by the white monopoly capital. He did not start a business from scratch. He does not start a business from scratch. He's just someone who's been awarded things for him to play a certain role and be able to give things to give certain levels of access to white monopoly capital, or to actually get to this point where we would be pushed to become president. As you saw back in the past, they wanted him to be president, and they finally got it. They finally made it happen. Mandela was like, no, Thabo Mbeki has been getting prepared for this role forever. This is his role, to be the next president, to be the deputy president, And I heard that Cyril Ramaphosa got very angry and kicked the chairs by Colony House, and then he said he went to do business and all of that. When Mandela said, let this man go and get money, because he saw that the man can be corruptible, So it is what it is, man. So Thabo Mbeki was the last great leader. If we had gotten great leaders after Thabo Mbeki, if we would have gotten great leaders such as Thabo Mbeki after that, South Africa would never have fallen, even though I can't say South Africa has fallen, but I would say that the level would have been maintained and it would have been surpassed. It would have been taken to other levels, South Africa would have reached its ultimate potential. But I think that Jacob Zuma and Ramaphosa, they literally slowed everything down to a point where we didn't have electricity, for 3 years. Where was it 3 years or 2 years or whatever? The load shedding, that crazy load shedding where you get a schedule and whatever. That was very, very peak embarrassing. It was some very, very embarrassing times. I couldn't believe it, man. But anyways, it's crazy that we're being led by criminals, and people that are not so competent. I mean, can you believe that? Can you believe that a man that at grade 2 was leading the whole entire country, grade 2 leading the whole entire South Africa, and what did he do? Brought in foreigners. He brought in all these African foreigners, illegal foreigners, and all these type of things. Corruption. He brought in the Guptas. He brought in all these type of people, that we don't even understand what the hell is going on. Who are those people? And the corruption was very, very, like, you couldn't run away from it. You could just literally see it. You could see the economy just being destroyed. So it was crazy. And at a certain point, we thought that the man would be, would be something, would be dope, would be like the man who came after the Ramaphosa. We thought maybe he would be special. But it just seems that he's even worse than Jacob Zuma. It's crazy that someone who's educated and all of that can be worse than Jacob Zuma. That's crazy. Sometimes you wonder, like, how the hell did that happen? But then you can see that Ramaphosa was, some people say he's a spy. Some people say he's a spy. He's been getting prepared for this thing for all his life by the people that have chosen him, which is the white monopoly capital. So yeah, it's crazy. It's just that it's unbelievable. But I think we've seen it all now in South Africa. I mean, the looting and everything you saw during Jacob Zuma's time. There was crazy amounts of looting. So much looting. You're seeing it in Ramaphosa's time. So much looting. And even when they're dealing with the looting and whatever and the crimes and whatever, you can just see, man, it's just some ad hoc commission. It's just Madlanga commission. It's what they call the other one, Zondo commission. You understand? And when you look at it, are there any results there? Are there any results there? We don't see any results. We don't see any results. So Ramaphosa's tenure has been completely embarrassing. Yeah, he will go down as the worst president in South African history. I don't know who's yet to come, but I think he's one of probably the worst presidents that we've ever had in this country. The amount of damage he has done, it's crazy. The amount of criminality that's happening under him, it's crazy. A lot of things will be revealed, but many people have come out to reveal so many things. The likes of Karl Nehaus. I know a lot of people don't respect Karl Nehaus, but I know that Karl Nehaus is a very, very intelligent man who is pure-hearted when it comes to the struggle. In South Africa, he loves South Africa. He fought for South Africa, and he's still fighting for South Africa till this day, revealing all type of things. So it's crazy, man. South Africa could have been on another level right now if we just used the meritocracy and just pushing for the best people to run the country and the best people to be in the right positions and everything, and we push everything based on merit. Yeah, but now you're seeing everything now. The people that are running the country are completely corrupt to the core, all the way to the what you call them, the parastatals. You look at the parastatals. If you want to be hired nowadays in the parastatals and whatever, you have to check out 10,000 rands or something. Check out 10,000 rands, 20,000 rands. You have to pay cold drink money, which is bribery money. You have to do all those type of things. You have to be a completely, foul individual. You have to be someone who's willing to sell out. And it's almost like the selling out is like a rite of passage almost, So you kind of wonder, what the hell happened? How did people get to be this corrupt? How did people get to be this criminalistic? Where did people learn this level of criminality? So it kind of gets to you to a point sometimes, like, how did the people rot like this? When did this happen? When did people become like this? When did people learn all this corruption and whatever? Rather than, is it a lack of education? What is it, man? Is it just people who don't have education? Is it just mere corruption or whatever? How did criminals get to be all over? How did criminals get to take over and be the rulers and the leaders and whatever? And when you look at these people, you think maybe they'll bring something that is contributing to society. They don't bring anything. All they can do is to live flashy there and drive nice cars in front of poor people and whatever, but the whole world around them is burning. You understand? That's the problem with working with this type of people, working with corrupt people. Corrupt people burn the whole entire world while they are wearing suits and busy dancing with their friends and whatever. You understand? That's what happens. So that's what happens. People don't understand the seriousity of having people who don't know what they're doing in positions of power. It is a very, very diabolical thing to do. It's diabolical, it's bad, it destroys the country. Those people are not sane, they're not correct mentally, they've lost it, man. Just what the Bible says, bribery corrupts people. It corrupts the mind of the wise. You understand? But in this case, it's not even wise people, it's even worse. Just imagine if we can corrupt wise people. What is it doing to people who are not even wise to begin with? That means it turns them into the most filth. They are already filth, and then they are turned more into filth. There's nothing good about bribery. There's nothing good about corruption. There's nothing good about all these things, because it's like a disease. You understand? It's like a disease. And why do I call it a disease? I call it a disease because the person ends up being numb. They end up being numb themselves about what they are doing. They don't fix anything. They don't build anything for their country. They might do it for themselves, but the whole world it becomes a dystopia, and they are numb to it. They are numb to the dystopia, and it's crazy that when the dystopia is done, what do? They flee. Once the dystopia is there, now they see that they can't live here or whatever. They flee. They run. They go. You're going to find that these people now are staying in other countries. They are in South Africa. They have a position in South Africa, whatever. They're the minister, they're whatever. But they stay in Europe. They stay in France. You look at Nigeria there. Look at Nigeria there. I'm not so well versed about Tinubu and all of that, but I've heard that Tinubu he stays in France, if I'm not mistaken. Who knows who else? That's just the president. Who knows who else is staying overseas in the government of Nigeria? Why don't they stay in their own country? Why don't they stay in the dystopia? Why don't they stay in the dystopia and why do they have to go to another place? Understand? They have to move, they have to run and go to another place in order for them to enjoy life. In Nigeria, it's crazy. It's crazy in Nigeria. It's like a situation whereby a lot of people they get kidnapped. People get sold to slavery. People get all those things that used to happen in medieval times. They're still doing it there. It's still being done there. So it's crazy. I don't know if Africa was in medieval times, during the medieval times, or did the slavery happen after the 1600s. Medieval times were like the 800s, I think, all the way to 1300s, if I'm not mistaken. But whatever was happening back in those days of the 1600s, 1400s, the Arab slave trade and whatever, they're still doing it that side in Nigeria. They're selling their own people to slavery. You understand? So it's only a matter of time until South Africa gets to those type of things, if we're gonna allow criminals to keep ruling us. Because criminals, they are abominations, man. These people are an abomination. They are an abomination. Their minds are corrupted. They've been corrupted for good. They've allowed their minds to go to the ultimate levels of perversion. They are the type of people that God would have to end in the days of Noah with a flood. They're the type of people that God will have to to destroy with fire and brimstone back in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. You understand? So anyways, it's your boy Just King Zeri signing out.